Semjase didn't just come here on a whim. Semjase had to study Earth culture for 10 years before even beginning to approach an Earth human. The way Earth humans think and perceive reality and so on and so forth is so radically different from them. They have to go to special training.
They must have had Professor Higgins there.
Well, right. But of course, at the, you know, I mean, how many languages could you learn if you were 300 years old?
Well, probably none.
None? Oh, come on, give yourself more credit than that. Okay. Any more questions?
Jim, the book.
The book.
Forget your book.
Your
Your book, Jim.
Yes.
Don't forget your book.
Okay. Well, we'll save this till later. Thank you.
I have a question.
Question.
Well, it was about documentation on the Eisenhower meeting. You said to go to Michael Sala and look at his site. And how did he get the documentation though? What's his source for that whole meeting and all the stuff about the popes and everything?
There's an Italian researcher, UFO researcher named Cristoforo Barbato, who's been telling a lot about these kind of things lately.
Right.
And he claims to have a source, a Jesuit who's within SIV, who is bringing this information out to him.
It's difficult, and what are some good ways to get over the difficulties so that you can actually do the secret type stuff?
I think the secret is real basic. It's very, very basic training in this concept of that your thoughts create things. And it's real basic in how if you want to improve your life, you need to improve your thinking and how you perceive your life. That's why I recommend the other video much more, and that's What the Bleep Do We Know? Down the rabbit hole, because that goes much more in depth into the quantum physics behind that, and it's tougher. Like I said, the secret is rather simplistic, but it gives you the basic understanding of these things. For most people, this is like they've never even conceived of this, right? So, but if you get into What the Bleep Do We Know, they go more into the depth in physical neurology and how our patterns become imprinted in the mind, and that you have to, the challenge it is to break those old patterns, because your brain literally wires itself to function on all the old patterns. And it's like, but you can break out of that. The problem is that we are addicted to this whole world that we see around us, because this illusion is so overwhelming. It seems so real. But it's like, you just said it, it's like, if this is what you think about, if this is the world you're drawing to yourself, if it's fear and George Bush and terrorism and hatred and it's all the stuff that we're programmed with constantly, it's like, then that's the law of attraction. It says that is the world you will create for yourself. That's just the way the law works. If this is what your focus is, this is what your reality is. Change your focus. If you okay, you want to kill a lizard? You want to kill a lizard? You want to kill a lizard? Quit feeding them. Quit feeding them. They can't. The only thing they can feed on is fear and terror and depression and hatred and violence. It's like, what did Jesus say? He said, "Do good to those that despise you." It's like, it's breaking the neural net for one thing, and it's not feeding your enemy. It's like, they make the point in The Secret, it's like about anti-war protest. Right. Anti-war, I'm anti-war, I'm anti-violence, I'm anti-terrorist. And it's like you were creating, it's like you were just simply creating more of what you're anti-against, because you're feeding that energy. Why is George Bush so incredibly powerful? Because we all feeding fear to him. You want to quit feeding George? You want to starve George? Quit giving him fear. That it is like, you can't turn on the evening news. It's just constant fear, 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 fear of everything. It's like, turn off the television.
It's fear of his father, not him. Okay, seriously.
It's, well, doesn't matter whose fear of.
I mean,
it's
who's
fear.
saying behind the scenes, not.
Yes.
Do you connect at all to some of the things